over to Shox, who is standing by for an interview with our 1v1 finalists.
Yeah, definitely so with Bjergsen and Uzi. And I'm first going to ask them about their individual victories in their semifinals. And Bjergsen, I want to ask you about that Tahm Kench strategy you were up against. What happened there?
It was surprisingly close, actually. I knew that he was going to try to find a way to kill me because that's the only way Tahm Kench can really win. But I didn't think it was going to be that close. He ate me and then dragged me half across the map. And it's definitely not something I had practiced against or really was ready for. So I'm pretty happy that I won that one.
You find yourself in the final, you'll be going up against Uzi. And Uzi, you had a very, very exciting semifinal versus Prey. I was quite surprised that you left the Zoe open in the third game. Why did you choose to go for the same matchup? And what adaptation did you make to beat Prey in the Pharah Zoe matchup?
就第一盘、第三盘你都让他选到了左一这英雄，然后第一盘输了，第三盘为什么可以取得胜利？
其实就是有点运气好吧，就是因为其实我自己也不是特别了解这个英雄，但是就打打看嘛，就感觉能打就打打看，对。
So he thinks he's quite lucky. He doesn't know how Zoe works like completely. So he will just play on a game to see how it goes, and he's lucky that he wins.
Wow, fantastic. So that must be a bit scary for you because he doesn't even have to know what your champion will do. He's going to beat you, Bjergsen.
Well, it seemed like Prey didn't really know what Zoe did either, so I think I'm a bit more ready, and if Uzi leaves Zoe up against me, I think there'll be a different result.
Well, I am going to expand on that because I would like to give you guys both a chance to say something to each other as your opponents, because you are a 1v1 champion, but Uzi is the reigning 1v1 champion. So Uzi, what would you like to say to your opponent for tomorrow, Bjergsen?
就你有没有想对你明天对手比尔森说什么？
希望我们能有非常愉快的一局游戏吧，就是不要让我输得太难看，或者就是。
Oh, he really wants a happy game tomorrow. Do not make him lose to, ugly.
Oh. Bjergsen, what would you like to say?
I mean, obviously, I'm here to get my title of the 1v1 champion back. I don't have too many bad things to say about Uzi because I think he is a really good player. And I said from the get-go, if I'm going to be in the final, Uzi will be in the final. And that ended up happening. So it'll be a fun match.
It'll be a fantastic match. Can't wait for that one. Well, congratulations to you both. That'll be very explosive tomorrow. Back over to you guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Shox. A little preview of tomorrow's 1v1 final. Bjergsen versus Uzi.
Happy game.
Both of which, yeah, we're hoping for a happy series.
We are trash talking.
But
happy
both of them, former 1v1 champions, Uzi being the reigning champion as of right now. So it makes for, a very climactic finish to the tournament tomorrow to watch these two duke it out in a best-of-5.
I don't know. It seemed like Uzi did know what Zoe did. Maybe not the intricacies, but he certainly understood her trading patterns, like how to constantly hide into the creep wave when the paddles
he figured him out after he lost in game 1.
Yeah,
right? And then he's like, oh, now I got it.
Dodge skill shots and land your poke.
Right,
like, that's how it is
do what you
against
do
most
against every
champions.
shot
He changed his
champion.
summoner spells and everything. He was very much.
No, I love it. But let's roll back through these 1v1s. We had 2 best-of-3s today. Bjergsen versus Jisoo being the first one, followed by Prey versus Uzi. The first one, a 2-0 in favor of Bjergsen. But hey, Jisoo, he did put on a show. You asked for it, DeFicio. You were rooting for him. He showed us some fun stuff.
I mean, especially the Tahm Kench was amazing. The Draven one, I wasn't too excited about that one, and obviously here the fact he actually ends up getting hit by that CC is a little bit unlucky for him, and he ends up dying. But
Unlucky Zoe.
the next one was the super cool one where he almost managed to kill Bjergsen.
What about this shot? You're not going to talk about that at all? He goes straight for the health?
Look at this one.
This is the highlight here. I mean, unfortunate miss on the tongue lash there, because that probably would have ended the game in favor of Jisoo.
And the funny thing is, he has so much slow resistance with his runes as well, and then also his boots. He has swiftness boots in this one. So when he actually devours Bjergsen, he doesn't get slowed down, and that's why he can drag him so far back on the map. Sadly, because again he missed the first one, he doesn't have the damage to kill him, and I think he kind of knew it's all in now or nothing.
Yep.
Not enough for him.
Damage or distance, but Bjergsen himself said that he was taken, by surprise with how much damage was dealt by that Tahm Kench, as well as how far he was able to travel across the map.
Yeah, it was also the use and timing of the exhaust when he used it, because he wasn't close to the tower. He didn't have to use it to slow him down. He could do it to mitigate the damage. But like I said, it felt like Uzi figured out Zoe rather quickly over the course of these 1v1s.
Yeah, but Prey there in game 1, I mean, playing the use of 4 summoner spells to 2, essentially. eventually to grab the victory in the auto attack trade at the end. This one here taking an ill-advised all-in at level 2 without the ability to pick up summoner spells.
So hilariously, I walked out of the room and I came back in, it was over. I looked at Dash, I was like, oh, that's ingenious. You know, Uzi would take a champion that could kill someone at level 2 to kill Zoe before she got the opportunity to pick up the summoners. Dash was like, no, Prey actually just ran at it.
No, it was all Prey. Prey just walked forward and was like, we're gonna fight now. Uzi said, okay, I'll take the victory. Comes back with the mirror matchup from game 1, plays it better that time around, pushes himself to the finals. So now let's talk about that final matchup. Just real briefly, I have to correct myself. Earlier I said it will be a best of 5. It's actually a best of 3. It's the Dream Team tournament. That's the best of 5. So in a best of 3, Bjergsen versus Uzi. What could either of these guys taken away from these couple days here about the other to come in with a very solid plan to winning it all?
I feel like I know what to expect from Uzi. He's going to have this very stable roster of AD carries with the addition of the Syndra, and it doesn't feel like he's really wants to step outside of those champions.
Right.
So I feel like it's going to be on Bjergsen, and you know the ways he can come up with getting CS leads and stuff like that to try and finish it.
And there are certainly traps. Uzi always likes to get the initial push, so that way when the health relic spawns, that he has control of that, and that seems like a pretty obvious and fairly straightforward pattern. But a lot of these players, because you know it's different from Sunroof, if the timings are different on the waves, the timings are different on the relic spawn or the relics being there at all, and I think he has it actually tracked, whereas the other players are kind of figuring it out as it goes. So I think it's an easy trap to set up that Uzi's going to get the initial push, and he's going to try to abuse that health relic. If I play a champion with CC, I can probably lay it down and catch him.
Yeah, I would expect Bjergsen to know all that, like he's been preparing on the 1v1 map as well. It's funny, both players are not really taking big chances in the way they're playing. Like, we've seen some all-in from certain players, like Jisoo being one of them, but both Bjergsen and Uzi plays it very safe. There's just a big difference is Bjergsen is playing a lot of mages. We'll probably play Talia, try and go for the push again for 100 CS, where Uzi's, again, 80 carries.
So who do you give the advantage to, the ADC or the mage then in a 1v1? Because granted, Prey isn't a mid laner. We did just see the AD carry come out on top 2-1 against the mage player in that 1v1.
I don't know. I would put a little bit of faith in the stability of the AD carries, right? The pattern for playing this is very straightforward, as Frost was talking about, you know, trying to get that push, control the relics and stuff like that. But I'm super curious to see what Bjergsen's going to come out with because, like we said, it's pretty easy to figure out. The differences are the cannon minions are desynced. The turret shots are a little bit different. You don't want the ranged minions taking any damage first, and you just one prep the melees instead of letting them get hit by 2 turret shots. But once you have those down and the startings of the relics, that's when the creativity is going to come in. And I know that Bjergsen has been, you know, playing some 1v1s and trying to come up with the cheese strategies. Mike Young said he had cheese champions that he was practicing against him,
Bjergsen,
and we haven't seen any of those.
That's true. That's true. He hasn't been pushed to the limit yet. He hasn't had to fall back on the cheese champions just yet. All right, with our finals locked in, let's take a look at the schedule for tomorrow. The Dream Team tournament ends with a battle between the LPL and the LMS, while the 1v1 tournament closes out with a best of 3 between Bjergsen and the reigning champion in Uzi. Let's talk about that best of 5 Dream Team finals because we've already hit the 1v1s plenty. LPL, LMS, revenge matchup. These two regions, they're familiar with each other, Frost. So what do you expect to see tomorrow?
And it's not even just the regions, it's the players themselves specifically. I mean, Ziv and Mako, AHQ, and EDG are practically sister teams. They scrim all the time, so those guys know each other inside and out. And like you said, it is that grudge match. AHQ denied EDG at Worlds, and so Mako can get a little bit of some home crowd advantage since the crowd seems to be mostly Chinese behind him.
I'm still baffled by that. The entire crowd speaks Chinese, apparently. Where did all the NA fans go?
All the LPL signs as far as the eye can see.
I am enjoying all the LED signs. We don't normally get those in the NALCS studios, and I'm enjoying finally having them. What are your guys' take on the LMS, the undefeated LMS here at the tournament up against the LPL, who showed some stuff today against Korea?
Yeah, I mean, the semifinal was almost too easy for LMS. They didn't really have to show a whole lot. They had fairly standard pick and ban phases. I'm sure each player has like a new pick ready he could pull out if it is a really close series and they want to surprise the LPL team, and they haven't really been forced to show that. We obviously know with LPL, it's Malzahar is like super hyper.
Lots of Malzahar.
But that's the thing, you know, they can take away the Malzahar, and it's cool because Fofo and CA both have really famous LeBlancs. So if it's the Malzahar goes down and then you're reaching for those pocket picks, both of them could be in a race, and we could see a much higher priority for mid picks.
I feel a little bit more comfortable with the LMS as far as champion pool goes. They feel more versatile. LPL was banning Zoe even on blue side, so it felt like Xie was relying a little bit more on things like Malzahar and stuff like that. And
well, that's
maybe
because Uzi's not going to play. So
yeah.
Gotta ban it out if Uzi's not going to play. Well, as our week comes to a close, make sure to tweet your favorite moments from the tournament using that hashtag AllStar2017. And we'll kick off the show tomorrow by sharing your thoughts. Now, though, for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for the conclusion of All Stars. Good night. Welcome back to day 3 of the 2017 All-Star event. The fans have arrived to show their support for the remaining All-Stars in attendance as things here are winding down.
Vivi gets it first, looking for a second. It's in fact Casa that gets the kill. Ziv throws up that ice boulder, won't find the slow, won't need it. Solar Flare comes down and GPL are running for their lives. Ziv joins the board, shuts down Ziv. Zombie Ziv gets one back. Jisoo's taken down from beyond the grave. And that's where you use the stopwatch. In fact, still alive.
Oh my God, that ultimate.
Bullet time destroys the GPL. Welcome to the finals, elements.
We're kicking off the 1vs1 semifinal. There's your stun barrier. Jisoo can't do it. First blood to Bjergsen. Kube over the great flank, zooming in forward. Mako trying to tie them up on the other side of Xie. He's so late in his fight, but Uzi lets it go with the bullet time. Not gonna find it though. No one dead just yet.
They got Faker.
Takes down Faker, and that might be enough. Knock up Lance. Uzi takes down Gorilla and Prey. Not gonna get tripped down.
We have to survive for 2 minutes long and then win yes.
I don't think they can do it. They've got no carries. They start to down, but that's it. Everybody dead, and the game goes to Korea. Shots, they just need to keep ambition out of the pit. They're going in with the ball time, trying to take it.
With the
Gorilla steals it. Scoop, silence down there as Prey is not going to live through the assault. A double kill for Uzi. Faker tagged up as well, flashes and dies.
Nice, nice.
And a win here cements a brothers' war in the final of the 2017 All-Star. I think the barrier, he's got the summoner spells. He gets first blood. They're getting away, but Uzi with the damage, the first blood. He gets the exhaust, but will be first blooded by Uzi.
He's going to the finals to defend his 1v1 crown.